Hey, let's talk about Google's new open source Python library called LangExtract. So, what is LangExtract? Let's understand this first. LangExtract is an open source Python library developed by Google which utilizes LLM to, now this is very important, to extract structured information from your unstructured text. Can you imagine? You'll be getting structured information from your unstructured text. That's super awesome, super powerful. So let's see the example and fetch some information, structured information from some unstructured text. So let's talk about the installation. Installation is very simple. As per the documentation which you can see in the screen, all you need to do, you need to go to the AI Studio of Gemini models. I'll put the link, everything in the description of this video. Once you come here, you need to click on Create API. That will create a new API for you. And then keep that API handy, because all you need to do, you need to create a .env file and put that API in this format. Export LangExtract API key followed by the API key that you have created. So if I go back to my Visual Studio Code, this is my Visual Studio Code and I have a .env file. If I open the env file, this is the LangExtract API key. I have saved the API key under this variable. Then all I need to do basically execute this command, export LangExtract API key followed by the variable where I have saved this API key, which is this one, and then enter. That's all. That's the only thing that you need to do to set up your environment. So one thing that you need to keep in your mind, this is not free. So you need to have some sort of credit or you need to have a paid account to use the API key from Gemini model. Okay, so what I've done, I have written a couple of examples or a couple of code which I'm going to show you today. So let's start with very basic one, which is basically the experiment, this Python class. So if you this Python program, so all you need to do first is basically you need to import a couple of libraries. One is TextApp. This is the one which comes along with this new open source one, which is basically the LangExtract, and you can import this as LX. And these are few things which I need to load my environment files, and OS is basically to make sure where I'll be storing my output file. Okay, so couple of things that you need to do to get the structured information from your unstructured code. First is basically load the environment variable from the env file, and this is the function. And this function is basically I have written in another Python. So this is the one here. So everything is in GitHub. I'll provide the link of the GitHub repo in the comment in the description of this video. You can definitely go and clone that and do the experiment Python classes. Okay, so here, if you see here, once my environment file is loaded, all I need to do first is I need to define the prompt. What is the prompt? Prompt is basically telling extract the characters, emotions, and relationships in the order of appearances. Use exact text for extraction. Do not paraphrase for overlap entities. Provide meaningful attributes for each entity to add context. So this is the prompt. The first thing that I need to do, I need to provide the prompt. Once the prompt is ready, then what I need to do, I need to provide an example. So this is the example. The examples is basically written in this way. LX data, and LX is basically the LangExtract which I've imported. This is example data, and this is the text. What the text is telling about Romeo. And then the extraction is basically from, if this is the text, this is the sample example, then it's telling Romeo is a character. But soft is basically an emotion. But soft is coming from the sample text. And then Juliet is the son is basically a relationship. So this is what it will extract from this sample text. Now, this is the real text from where I want this program to run and provide me the structured information. So this is the input. Lady Juliet, this is the real input against which I want LangExtract to execute and provide me some structured information. The way to do that, lx.extract, this is the one text or document where I'm passing the input text. Prompt description is basically the prompt which I have written here. Then is the example. This is the example which I have written, and which model that I want to use. I want to use this model. Then what it will do, it will create a JSON file and HTML file for the visualization. So this is the name of my JSON file, JSON-L file, and this is the name of my HTML file, which is basically visualized output. And then these are all the things where I'm basically selecting which folder it should go. This one is important, where basically I'm saving the result into a JSON-L file. This is the name of the file, and from here I'm going to use the lx.visualize to create this visualization.html file, and that will show me against my this input text what is the structured information that is coming out. So the visualization file name is visualize.html, and once this is ready, all you need to do, you need to come here and execute this as a normal Python program. So Python 3 followed by experiment. Oh, my code is inside data, I believe. Yeah, data, experiment. No, it's inside code 1. This is the way you need to execute this program. So I'm not going to execute that because I've already executed and stored the data. So I'm going to show you that once you execute this program, under this data, you will find under this test output, you will find the visualization.html. So this is how it looks like. So that was the input text which I've provided, and it is telling that Lady Juliet, it's basically a character. If I go to the next, this is basically an emotion. If I go next, this is basically another emotion, and the feeling is, there is a feeling. This, if I go to the next, this is the Romeo, this is another character. So basically from this unstructured text, with the help of lang extract, we are able to get some structured information, and the structured information was initially stored inside the JSON-L file, which is, so that's the JSON-L file. So if you see here, the program was able to extract the structured information from the unstructured text which we have provided. So this is a very basic example, right? But you already understand the power of this lang extract. Okay, let's go to the next example, which is this one. What I am telling this time, the prompt is extract the doctor's name, patient's name, diagnosis, medication, and usage. That's what I'm telling this program to do. For an example, what I'm giving is that this is a text. This is a patient John Smith diagnosed with COVID-19 with mild symptoms, allergies, and few basic information, and this is what the extraction looks like. So what the input text I want to give? I want to give this input text where the patient is a Spider-Man. The doctor has prescribed a few medication for his type 2 diabetes. These are the medication, how many times the medication should take, and is it before meals, after meals, and all this thing. Now I'm passing this information again the same way to this lx.extract, and then storing that information into the extraction result.jsonl and finalizing that in the visualization.html. So I have already executed that. So let me open the JSON-L file first. These are all the structured information. And now if I open the visualization file, this is what it looks like. So Spider-Man is basically the patient. Type 2 diabetes is basically the diagnosis. Metformin is basically the prescription. Once daily with dinner is basically the dosage. This is another prescription. So basically from this unstructured text, with the help of lang extract, I was able to fetch the structured information. So this is really powerful. Let's take a few more examples. Now let's take this time a story, Alice in Wonderland. Okay, we all know this storybook. So what I'm telling is that the prompt is extract the character, emotion, relationships from the given text. So far in the previous two examples, what I have done, I have given the input text like this. But what happened if the input text I cannot give in this way because the input text is so huge, it's already stored in a different file. Can I pass that file as an input text? So that's what I'm going to show you in the next example. So here this is the input text. Instead of passing the input text as a text, I'm passing this input text as a. So now let me open this text inside the browser and see the content. So now here is the content of the text file. As you can see, it's a big text. Now all I am doing is I'm passing this text and then using the lang extract to fetch the structured information from that big unstructured text. I've already ran that example, and with that, this is where the visualization is stored. So if I open that now here, as you can see here, this is the entire unstructured code, but my lang extract program was able to go through that and fetch the structured information. And if I can play, that's how it looks like. Really, really powerful. Similar way, I have done the similar thing for some other storybooks also. For example, this is a Spider-Man information is stored here. When I pass that information, this is how the extraction result looks like. And if I can open that, you see here, this is the entire Spider-Man story. But lang extract was able to fetch the structured information from this unstructured code. Like a Spider-Man, it's a superhero, this is a writer, this is the artist, this is a type of, when it's publication date, what are the different awards, parent, everything. Okay. As you can see here, this lang extract is a very powerful open source Python library. And you can use that for many purposes. For example, there is a PhD note, or there is a publication have so many pages, right? You want to parse that entire publication or entire diagnosis note from a doctor and fetch only the structured information. How you can do that? That's what this lang extract library is all about. It will help you to go through all sort of unstructured information and fetch the structured information which you are really looking for from that. So I believe this is a very powerful library. Let me know what do you think and what are the different use cases where you are thinking of utilizing this powerful library. I hope you like these examples and you understand how powerful this lang extract is. So if you like this video, please share this video with your friends, with your colleagues, and please subscribe to my channel so that in future, when I'll publish more videos like this, you'll be the first person to be notified. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.